Wells Fargo has engaged in years and years and years of criminal practices. And to this moment, as best I can tell, not a single perpetrator at Wells Fargo has gone to prison. You know, with big corporations, when they repeatedly break the law and bring great harm to people, generally the penalties are always money. And to companies, money is just like, oh, well, it's not really going to hurt our earnings. And Wells Fargo has had this culture that has been one that has encouraged breaking the law again and again and again. So Wells Fargo, after having to pay huge fines repeatedly, pay restitution repeatedly, now has just been hit with the largest fine in the history of banking regulation, $1.7 billion, and having to pay yet another after billions and billions and billions of dollars in restitution to mistreated customers. They're having to pay more. So what have they done? They have engaged in practices of not posting payments that customers have made for mortgages. They have foreclosed on people's homes who were paying their mortgages. They have repoed autos that people were making their payments on. They have charged people overdraft fees when people had money in their account. And as you know, the prior stuff that goes back to 2011, they have been fined for opening accounts without people's knowledge or consent so employees could get bonuses from Wells Fargo. This company has now paid, according to a compilation from the feds, they have now had to pay $6.2 billion just over the last 6 years. And I saw a New York Times piece, they've now paid a total of $20 billion in fines and restitutions, one after another, after another, after another. Now, 2 CEOs have been fired for overseeing corrupt and criminal practices. And now they got yet another one in there. And when is this culture ever going to change? And I believe that the culture has no reason to change until people fear having a prisoner number, until people end up behind bars. Because I kept assuming that the embarrassments that Wells has experienced would lead to changes in behavior. But now, you know, like Missouri, the show me state, I got to tell you, Wells Fargo, you're going to have to show the American people by being on your best behavior over and over again that you got your act together. And you are an embarrassment to capitalism. I am through and through a capitalist. I believe so fiercely in the free market. And there will always be people who do the wrong thing in life, and there will be people who do the wrong thing in the free market and capitalism. Wells Fargo, I mean, my goodness. This is just absolutely terrible. And again, corporate speak. This far-reaching agreement is an important milestone in our work to transform the operating practices at Wells Fargo and to put these issues behind us. Okay. How many times have you issued a corporate speak statement like that through the $20 billion plus in fines and restitution over the last 12 years? My goodness. And so it's always tough to know when the coast is clear and when a company gets its ethical act together that has behaved unethically and criminally. Just know that Wells is still a work in progress.